Hey Bulldogs, welcome back. It's Mr. Harpersmith again. Today we're going to talk about something slightly, it's related to arithmetic sequences. In fact, it's completely about arithmetic sequences. However, instead of just finding the next term, we want to find what a certain number of terms add up to be. So what I want you to do is I want you to look at this first sequence here and figure out what do the first 5 terms add up to. We'll sometimes write that as S of n, okay? Or in this case, S of 5. So we want to know what do the first 5 terms add up to. Give it a quick try. Just that first one. What do the first 5 terms add up to? Pause it if you need to. In fact, I guarantee you need to. Pause it, figure it out, and then watch how we do it. So what I do is, I look, what am I adding every time? I'm adding 3. Add 3, add 3. So the next number would be 14, the following number would be 17. Those are the first 5 numbers of the sequence. Well, I'm just going to plug that into my calculator. That's about all I can do. 5 plus 8 plus 11 plus 14 plus 17. Gives me 55. Okay. So S of 5 equals 55. Now, that took a little bit to do for just 5 numbers. So what if we wanted to add together the first 30 numbers of the sequence? It would take a little bit. It would take a lot of it. So we're going to talk about a formula today that helps all of this go quite a bit faster, substantially faster, in fact. The formula to find the sum of the first n terms of a sequence is this. It is n over 2, 2a, 1 plus n minus 1 d. Write that down real quick and make sure you guys can see it. You can see it. Alright, what does n stand for? N is the number, the term number. So if it's the 5th term, the 10th term, in this case it was the 5th term, was the sum of the first 5 terms. That's what n represents. In this case, we've got 3 n's that we're dealing with. Okay? Ace of 1, we learned about last time. Ace of 1 is just the first term. Well, the first term in this case was 5. Finally, we have D. D does not stand for duck or dog or donuts. However, I do love donuts. My gut should show you all that. D represents the difference. What are we adding every single time? In this case, we're adding 3. So let's try this formula and see if we get the same answer. My n, what does n represent? Well, that's the number that I'm looking for. It was the 5th number. So I've got 5 over 2, then parentheses, 2 times ace of 1, 2 times ace of 1. What does ace of 1 represent? Oh, it's the first term. So if you look over here, 5 was my first term, plus, we've got n again inside parentheses. N was 5 minus 1, and I've got d. What does d represent? It's the common difference, or what you're adding every time. We're adding 3 every time. Alright, so 2 times 5 is 10, plus 5 minus 1 is 4 times 3 is 12, and 5 over 2. 10 plus 12 is 22. Now if you plug this into a calculator, here's how I would plug it in. Okay, 5 over 2 times 22. I would do, I'm actually going to stand over here to make sure you can see it okay. I'm going to do 5 divided by 2. That's what it is there, 5 divided by 2. Then I need to multiply it by 22. And I get 55. Ta-da! Now, is that a surprise? Isn't that what we got when we did it all by hand? We got the same thing. Now again, if it's just 5 terms, it might be easier to just write out the first 5 and add them together. But if you're trying to add together the first 100 terms, this could be substantially faster. If you need to pause it and copy this onto your paper, do so real quick. I'm going to erase it now. But remember, you can pause it. Let's try this next one here. It looks like our common difference is -5. We're going down by 5 each time. I want to add together, let's say, the first 50 terms. Now, this might be a sequence of your bank account. Every day you spend $5. You're at $20 in your bank account. The next day you're at 15. You take your girlfriend on a date. Now you're down to 10. You go buy something from McDonald's. Now you're down to 5, 0. Then you start getting into the negative. You don't want to be in the negative. Trust me, that's a bad place to be. So, after 50 transactions, 50 days, how much would the number be? Actually, that'd be a horrible example. That'd be a good example of this. Sums. 20, 15, 10. It could be the number of points that you get in a video game. The first video game you play, you got 20 points. You got 15, then 10. Well, after 50 games, are you going to be in the positive or negative? Let's do this real quick. So, here we go. My n is the term that I'm looking for. Well, in this case, it's 50 over 2. I've got 2 times ace of 1. 2 times my ace of 1 was 20. Plus n minus 1. My n in this case is 50. Minus 1 times d. My d in this case is -5. Now that's not subtracting 5. That is multiplying by -5. Be careful there. Yeah, don't put subtract. Well, let's do some math. What's 49 times 5? I'm going to use my calculator. 49 times 5 gives me 245. But it's going to be negative. Now I've got 2 times 20. It's 40. Then this simplifies to 25. Okay. Next up, 40 minus 245. It gives me 25 times -205. 25 times 205. Well, that's going to be a big number. -5,125 would be your answer here. All right. So, what this is if we added up the first 50 terms of that sequence, they would add up to be -5,125. And you might think, well, hey, you've got positive numbers here. Why is it negative? Well, remember, it's going down each time. Pretty soon, we're going to get into the negatives. How far into the negatives? Good question. But when we add them all up, we do get a negative number. In this case, -5,125. All right, your turn. I want you to try this last one. So pause the video. Try this last problem on your own. I'm going to erase this. I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay? So pause the video now and try the last one. All right, unpause. Let's do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to add 5. Each time. That's what our common difference is. We are adding 5. What is my n? Well, I told you to pause it, but I didn't tell you what n is. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I want you to find ace of 30. Pause it again. Pause it again. Now you can do it. Okay, find ace of 30. All right, unpause. I am so sorry about that. I feel horrible. You're probably sitting there for a couple minutes thinking, man, how would I solve this problem? It's because I didn't give you what you were solving for. So ace of 30. That 30 is my, it's not even ace of 30, it's s of 30. I'm sorry that you guys have to suffer through this video. All right, s of 30. We've got n, so that's 30 divided by 2. And we've got 2 times, let's see, ace of 1 is -5 plus n minus 1, so n was 30 times d, our d is 5. Let's plug it into a calculator. Okay, so I've got 30 minus 1, that's 29 times 5, gives me 145. Got 2 times -5, that's -10. This is going to give me 15. I'm going to add those. Let's see here, 15 plus times 135. And that gives me a total of 2,025 for my answer, if I add up the first 30 terms in that sequence. All right. Your assignment is on Canvas. Okay, there's no Delta Math today. It is on Canvas. There are 5 questions. Answer those 5 questions, hit submit. If you don't like the grade that you see, because you got 1 or 2 of them wrong, it'll tell you which ones you get wrong. Go back and try it again. Good luck.